The sun had barely begun to rise when Ethan Crowley stepped out onto his porch, the quiet morning stretching across the desert like a held breath. The prairie looked calm, but something in the air felt different and instinctual, whispered that the day ahead was carrying something far from ordinary. Ethan took a slow sip of his coffee, scanning the horizon as the wind pushed sand in lazy spirals. This was supposed to be just another morning on his lonely ranch, but fate was already approaching him from the mountains. By midday, the shimmering heat revealed two figures moving across the flats. At first, Ethan thought it was mirage, but as the shapes grew clearer, he realized these were people, two strikingly tall women, moving with the unmistakable grace of warriors, Apache. But not just any warriors. Their presence commanded the very air around them. The first wore a spear decorated with tribal carvings, while the other carried a long bow and a quiver nearly as tall as Ethan's torso. Their braided hair gleamed under the sun, adorned with beads and feathers. Their faces, though tired, held strength that radiated like heat from a fire. When they finally stopped before his porch, Ethan lifted his hand slowly in greeting. "Morning," he said carefully. The taller sister stepped forward, her sharp eyes glinting. "We seek water." Without hesitation, Ethan nodded. "You got it. Help yourselves." But they didn't move, not until they studied him with a silent, almost searching gaze. The younger sister spoke softly. "We have traveled far." Ethan looked closer now. Dust caked their leggings and boots. Fatigue tugged at their shoulders. They weren't simply thirsty, they were drained. He didn't understand why, but something made him feel protective. So he turned without another word and went inside. He brought bread, smoked venison, dried apples, and a jug of water. As he set the tray down, both women looked at him with a kind of gratitude he'd never seen in a stranger's eyes. The taller one placed her palm over her chest. "Your heart is generous. I am Sunrise. This is my sister Willow, daughters of Chief Taza." Ethan paused. Chief Taza was a name that carried weight throughout the territory. Many settlers feared him. Others respected him. But everyone agreed. His warriors were unmatched, and his tribe fiercely protective of their own. As the sisters ate, Willow studied Ethan with quiet curiosity. "Why do you help us?" He shrugged. "Because you needed it, and because it's the right thing to do." Sunrise and Willow exchanged a subtle glance, something serious, something heavy, yet they remained silent. When they finished eating, Sunrise stepped forward. "You showed respect. Not fear, not hostility. We will remember." And just like that, they turned and walked away, disappearing into the shimmering desert heat. That night, Ethan couldn't shake the encounter. Something in their expressions had felt like gratitude mixed with warning. As he stood on his porch under a violet sky, he felt the wind carrying a weight he couldn't explain. He didn't know it yet, but by dawn, everything in his quiet life would be changed. He woke before the sun. A tremor in the ground pulled him from sleep. At first, he thought it was thunder, but the desert sky remained silent. When he stepped outside, the ground vibrated beneath his boots, steady, powerful, rhythmic hoofbeats. The horizon darkened with shapes, hundreds of them. As the rising sun painted the world in gold, the shapes sharpened into warriors. 700 Apache fighters, an entire army. The front lines parted, and there rode Chief Taza himself, flanked by the giant sisters Sunrise and Willow. Ethan's breath caught. He didn't reach for a rifle. He simply stood in the open because deep inside he knew this was not an attack. Chief Taza dismounted, his presence commanding as he approached Ethan. "You gave food to my daughters," he said. Ethan nodded cautiously. "They were tired, hungry. I just did what anyone would have done." "No," Willow replied firmly. "Not anyone." Sunrise stepped closer, towering with quiet power. "We were on a sacred vision quest. Weakness or failure during such a journey could doom our tribe's future. Your kindness gave us strength to finish." Chief Taza added, "You did not know this, yet you acted with humility. Among my people, a meal given during a sacred journey is a gift of great honor." Ethan blinked. "So you brought an army to thank me?" Chief Taza's eyes narrowed, not in anger, but in seriousness. "We came to protect you." Ethan frowned. "Protect me? From what?" Sunrise pointed toward the distant horizon. Dust spiraled upward, revealing another group approaching, smaller but fast. "Settlers," Willow said. "Outlaws. They saw us at your ranch yesterday." Chief Taza's voice thundered across the silence. They believe you are allied with us. They come to kill you and take your land. Ethan's heart dropped. Because I helped 2 travelers? Because fear makes men violent, Sunrise said. And ignorance makes them foolish. The chief raised his arm. We stand between you and death. Today, Ethan Crowley, you are under our protection. 700 warriors shifted in unison, spears lowering in a wave that glittered like a rising storm. Ethan felt the weight of what he had unknowingly stepped into. His simple act of kindness had unlocked an alliance, a debt of honor, and a battle that would shape his fate. Willow placed a steady hand on his shoulder. Stand with us. Your story begins today. Ethan looked at the approaching dust cloud, then at the warriors surrounding him. He took a deep breath and nodded. Let's finish this. A roar erupted from the Apache ranks, shaking the very earth. The outlaws came into view, riding hard, guns gleaming under the sun. The battle for Ethan's ranch and the birth of a legend had begun, and all of it because of one meal shared with 2 giant sisters on a lonely desert. Afternoon. If you enjoyed this powerful Western tale, if you want more stories filled with emotion, danger, honor, and twists that hit straight to the heart, then make sure to subscribe to the channel right now. Your support helps bring more legendary stories like this to life. Don't miss the next adventure.